Thanks for hopping on here tonight. This is going to be an action-packed call. I totally am pimping out my friend Jennifer Leith to get you guys on here tonight. And I even told her so. And I'm going to have her, especially since it's working out this way, this is perfect. I'm going to have her give her testimony. Doesn't matter how long, however long you want to take, Jen, is fine. I have announcements for, I know a lot of you are interested in the April accountability group and everything, all the information regarding that. And so hang around after we talk to Jennifer for that part. Jennifer, I want to ask you a couple questions.
All right, hit me.
Okay, I'm having to keep on your Zoom. This is not one of the questions, although it is a question. Does your Zoom make you admit people as they pop on?
Only tonight, because I realized the password I picked was too long. It didn't fit. So then I had to enable the waiting room. So there's an option you can.
I knew I had done it seems like it makes me do that every single time with the waiting room. And then now it just, I don't know. Anyway, okay. I thought maybe there was a real quick answer. Maybe I can figure it out afterwards. So for those of you who don't know my friend Jen Leith, she's probably one of the funniest people I know. She's for sure the funniest person I know in Plexus. And no pressure, Jen, to be funny, but I would like to just hear your story. I think I want to hear from you tonight. I'm going to ask you a question, then just let you roll with it. You can go. Tell us about how you first heard about Plexus, perhaps, and roll from there.
Okay, so it turns out that a girl that I met on a mission trip when I was 20 years old, brand new believer, she and I really were close for those 2 weeks of this trip with Youth with a Mission. And then because there really wasn't social media, I mean, I didn't even have a cell phone. We just kind of lost touch. And then once Facebook kind of became a thing, I was racking my brain trying to find people from my past. You know what I'm talking about? When Facebook first started, you're like, what was that girl's name that sat by me in third grade? You're trying to remember people. And I thought about Suzanne. Her name was Suzanne Winsper at the time. And I pulled her up, found her, and sent her a friend request. And that next day, she posted, I've stopped drinking diet drinks and I'm not taking naps anymore. And there wasn't a picture. There wasn't a story. It just was that one line. And at that time, I was drinking Diet Dr. Thunder because I couldn't afford like the brand name. So I had Diet Dr. Thunder from Walmart, and I drank that all day long, except for in the morning when I had coffee. So it was like caffeine moving into chemicals with caffeine. And so I had gained a ton of weight having kids. And the weird part was it didn't really bother me. Like I never tried to lose weight. I gained almost 100 pounds and I never even tried to lose weight. I didn't know what a calorie was at all. And I just it didn't matter to me. My husband's always made me feel beautiful, but I will say this, I felt tired. I did feel anxious. I did feel depressed. Like I always said no to everything. I said, no, it didn't matter what you invited me to do. I said no. I didn't want to go anywhere, do anything. I had zero motivation to kind of show up for myself and for my life. And so when I asked Suzanne about what she was doing, because I thought, well, wonder if I could live a different life. Like if I didn't drink Diet Coke and I didn't take naps every day, because I knew, I mean, intellectually, aspartame and phenylalanine, you read it. It literally says can cause cancer and like can jack up your brain. And you're like, I'll just put it over ice and it'll taste good and it'll overpower the badness on the can. And I just wanted a different life. And so when I asked her about it, it only trumped my horrible mindset because it made me mad. Because when she said, oh, it's Plexus, and she sent me the website and I saw how much it cost. And it was just another reminder of, Jen, you're poor, you're on food stamps. Everybody else gets to go on family vacations. Everybody else gets to get their hair done and gets to buy new clothes, but you don't. And it was just rotten. I had nasty, bitter mindset. And so it took me about 6 months to kind of work through that mindset. And I had blocked her on Facebook because I kept seeing her like she was at Amelia Island at one of the leaders retreats holding up this check. And I was just like, I wanted to take my 2 fingers and jab it at the screen because I was like, that makes me so mad. And I couldn't be happy for her. And so as much as Plexus ended up becoming a huge health victory for me, it really was more of a mindset victory because it was so hard for me to celebrate people. It was really hard for me to be happy for people. And it's taught me a valuable lesson about that. So anyhow, I ended up, my mother-in-law gave us money for our anniversary. And I remember sitting on our bed holding that check. And I said to my husband, look, this is going to sound like really weird because I've never done this before, but I think I kind of want to try these products. Here's what they are. Can I use this check for that? And he would give me the world. He's like, yeah, whatever you want to do it. So I ordered the products, they came, and I had the slim a couple days and I felt nauseous. So I legit thought I was pregnant. I was like, this must be morning sickness, which now I know what that was. I had completely stopped my Diet Dr. Thunder cold turkey because did anyone else have a soda problem when they started Plexus? Anybody? Okay. Did you notice when you tried to drink your soda after you started Plexus, it tasted just a little bit different?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like,
Yes.
ew. And so it kind of messed with my taste buds. So I just didn't drink it. I think I was going through withdrawal from not having that, was what was making me feel sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
And I never even asked Suzanne about it. I just quit. I just got my money back. Just moving on with my life. Okay. Moving on with my life. Ain't nobody had time for that. And then yet there was something in the back of my mind still. I was thinking about it. And and that's just funny because God's like that. He's just like, I'm not going to give up on you. I'm going to keep putting things in your path and eventually you're going to come around. And I did. So I was like, okay, this time I'm going to do it and I'm not going to actually do it. I'm just going to overcome it. I'm going to drink my water. She told me to download my Fitness Pal and I literally wrote in there everything I ate. And it was shocking to me because as much as I didn't know about calories, I was probably eating 4,000 calories a day. I mean, because I had no abandon. Like if I wanted seconds, I had seconds. If I wanted to eat a creme brulee for breakfast, I would. If I wanted ice cream in the middle of the night, I would do it. Who cares? How much worse could this really get? Like, I'm already at 16. What does it matter? And so I was now aware for the first time ever, like, oh my gracious, that's a lot of calories. And I didn't know that before. And so it taught me about awareness. And as I started to lose weight, I didn't know I was losing weight. I actually had a girl come over to have a play date with me and my kids. And I went up to the TV to put a DVD in. I still can't believe that it's like that time is over. We don't do that. But anyhow, I put a DVD in and she was behind me and she said, Jen, I think you're losing weight. You look really small from the back. And I felt like the camera slowed down. I was like looking back at her because I was like, me? And I didn't have a scale in the house. So I didn't know if I was losing weight or not losing weight.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just I'm giving you a really long answer for a short
No,
question.
it's good. I think a lot of people can relate to this. I can remember when I first started having a team. I grew up different in that I was told all about calories in the household I grew up in. It didn't seem to make a difference in the size of my backside, but I was taught all that stuff, kind of grimacingly so. And anyway, I can remember when I first started to gather a team, I encountered people who didn't have any concept of that. And I just remember thinking, man, it's a different existence. But one day I said something about a Taco Bueno bean burrito. I don't know if everybody has Taco Bueno. I don't know if everybody has Taco Bueno, but I was like, I think it's like 650 or 700 calories or something like that. And I just remember it was like a mic drop. One post about a bean burrito, everybody was like, hold up, what? Like they think they're making a decent choice. And that's just one thing that they were eating at one meal of all the things that they were eating. And it's around here, it's an easy fast food choice. It's right in the center of town. The majority of my team early on was local. And so, and then the sodas and the diet sodas and even like, I never dreamed that diet soda could be worse for you than regular soda, all the stuff that you learn when you get started. And we just actually got off a call, Erin Kroll. I didn't used to know her name. So I used to call her the wrong one. Now I even get mixed up which one it is. I'm just kidding. I like to tease her about it though. But anyway, she for her incentive for her team this month, she invited my team, the larger team, basically to participate for anybody who was qualified. She had a dietitian come on and speak to us and gave some great pointers of things that you just, I mean, the way you talk to yourself and this kind of stuff, and it was really good. So you're talking spilled right into the same topic that what everybody's kind of just now leaving that other call just a few minutes ago. Um, when did you decide you wanted to work it as a business? Was there a moment, or did you just kind of flow into it?
Well, Suzanne was really good at making sure that I got 3 right away, and it was helpful because she knew that my financially, I couldn't continue to use the products without them, without, like, extra money, but I'm even thinking about it now, she painted that picture for me. She goes, "Let's go ahead and get 3 people for you because you're gonna need that money to pay for next month's order." She didn't say, "Oh, you can get your money back if you wanna get your money back," or, "Try it for 30 days and let me know." It was just like, "You're gonna be using it next month and then the next month." I just she had me in that mindset, and I trusted her. So when she
Yeah.
told me to get 3 people, she was really specific. She told me exactly who to go talk to. Now, we didn't make chats at that time, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I also didn't feel like I was asking them to try something that would change their life. I didn't feel like I was going to them saying, "I just found the secret that, I mean, this is it right here." I just went to them and said, "I have no idea what's going to happen with this stuff, but I would love it if you did it with me so I didn't have to do it alone." And they did. And so when I made, and at that time it was $175, which was like $1 million to me.
Yeah.
And so that definitely painted a vision. I got my silver certificate and I have a college degree. So I got my college degree and it's somewhere in a box in my garage. But that silver certificate was on my wall in my bedroom because it just felt really wonderful just to have somebody recognize me. And then later on, maybe a month or two went by, someone did a call, and I want to say it was Allison Bro, and it was with somebody, maybe Beach Money. I don't know. All I know is there was a man on a call, phone call. Like, remember freeconferencecall.com?
Yes.
Okay. And he said that you needed to draw your line in the sand. And I felt like what he was saying to me was like, piss or get off the pot kind of thing. Like the whole like you can't be half in, half out. Like you're either in or you're out. And I just had a conversation with myself and said, I want to see this through. Like come hell or high water, I'm going to see it through. And I'm kind of a quitter, like when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so once I made that decision, it kind of freed me because before I was like, I'm not too far gone. I could leave if I want to leave. And it was just a really good feeling just to be committed, which honestly, I mean, if you've ever been part of Plexus, even for a month, and you've ever shared products with someone, you've probably had an experience that didn't make you feel good. Like somebody said something negative, or maybe you made a post and somebody was ugly to you. And there's a lot of things that can hurt you in this business. So the truth is, if I didn't have that mentality of, but I committed, then when I got that feeling, that ick feeling, I would have been like, my life is too short for this. I'm not doing it. Goodbye. But instead, I was like, I'm in it. I'm committed.
Yeah. Is there anything that you lean on, or anything that you think of when when you were talking about the icky things? Is there any one particular thing that you reflect on when it comes to the icky things to keep you from having setbacks, or do you have a process that you work through? I know that's kind of a complicated answer maybe, but just curious if something pops into your mind.
Well, it all it takes is me to think about anybody that I've ever shared Plexus with that has been able to do something bigger with themselves. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's on a large scale. I think about Alita when I see her face.
Mhm.
I think about my cousin Jen, who is a single mom. I think about all these people that have had their lives ever love and changed because of Plexus, and it's because I
Yeah.
said something. And so I assume that God has more people like that out there for me,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to block that ability of being the voice for them. But man, I mean, even the other night I went to, it was called Night of the Arts, and it was my kids, and like every homeschooler has to do like a worship song with sign language. It's just like a rite of passage. And so she's doing this worship song with sign language, And they did an intermission and they had a dessert table. And I got in line to go up there with my kids. And a friend of mine that I hadn't seen since I worked at Starbucks with him, he walked up and he said, "Oh, you're going to get some dessert, even though you sell Plexus?" He's like, "I was a Plexus ambassador in the dessert line." And I felt so embarrassed. Like it made me feel so embarrassed. And I wanted to just cry because I thought that's a struggle of mine. Like it really is a struggle for me because I'm like, I want to represent what we are wholeheartedly, but I also want to eat double stuffed Oreos. Like I do want to eat them. Okay. And and if you told me I had to choose between the two, it might be hard. No, I'm just kidding. But what happened is, y'all, after he said that to me, I got to the end of the dessert line, and a girl up there, her name's Jen Jeffries, and well, I hope she's not on this call. I don't know why she would be, but don't post this publicly. I don't know. Jen Jeffries, and she I changed her name so no one will know it's her. So, anyways, she says to me when I get up to the end of the line, she said, "You sell Plexus, don't you?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is happening to me right now? Like another person's going to say that to me?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm with Plexus." And she said, "I want to lose weight. Is it going to help me lose weight?" And do you know what I said to her? It's really horrible. You're all going to be bewildered. I don't even want to tell you.
Do
It's so bad.
tell. We want to know.
It's so bad. But I'm trying to make a point here that when you let someone rattle your mindset, it absolutely destroys your ability to connect. Because I let that bother me. When she asked me if it helps with weight loss, I literally said, "Look at me. Does it look like it helps with weight loss?" That's what I said to her. And my husband said, "What are you doing?" And so that night I got home, I got on my messenger, I pulled her up and I said, "Can I apologize? I let something bother me and make it affect the way I responded to you. Plexus helps with weight loss. It's a great tool. And I know it would help you too." I said, "But I felt rattled at the time and I hope you can forgive me." And she's like, "I forgive you and I want to get started." Because the truth is, it does help. It absolutely helps. And and I think we're just going to have people that are ugly or mean. And maybe he didn't even mean to be that way. Maybe he thought that was a sense of humor and he's wrong, actually. Yeah.
When UESC is wrong. And when you were describing the beginning of your journey, um, when I hear stories like that, or when I reflect back on the beginning of my journey, a lot of times I have this thought process that goes, I long for the simpler days. And what's weird is when I was in the simpler days, I longed for the what I didn't realize were complicated days. And I'm give me just 1 second to expand upon this, but I wanted I wanted clinical trials, by golly, and I wanted training every day from corporate, and I wanted a calendar that had all the things and linked me up to all the stuff, and I wanted them texting my people and reminding them and all this stuff, and um, all the things I asked for, pretty much we have them now. And what I find myself doing is scrambling to make sure I'm not behind. Like, for example, being asked by someone who's a silver if I watched a call that just community the ambassador community page. I'm like, I didn't even know there was one. Well, the reason I'm sharing that tonight is because again, as you talked about the simplicity of, you need you need the 3 people to get your products paid for. You need I mean, it's really a mindset on my end, because it's all out there for the taking for anybody who wants it. And if you're in a busy season of your life and all you can concentrate on is the minimum, or the good old days, or whatever you want to call it, that is there too. And that's actually a huge that was a huge inspiration for the training or whatever that we're going to do tonight and that we're going to focus on for April. um i I love the old school stories of here's the thing. I love the old school stories and the simplicity of, girl, you just got to do this. You don't have to know all the things and all this stuff. You don't have to feel like you have to know science. You can just say, like you said in the beginning to your friends, you can say, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but blah, blah, blah. I hope that it does for you. And there's a money back guarantee. And I think there's some beauty in that, but also there's this, I should say, not also, there's an honesty in that I believe that all of the fancy stuff can make people lose sight of. There's an honesty, and your approach is always, to me and my site, the way I see it, your approach is always very honest anyway, just like how you ended the dessert line. You're like, you always are candid, and I think that resonates with people more than you probably realize. But there was something else I was going to say about all that. Oh, yes, I was going to ask you another question. Is there a particular thing that you do with your team that is simple, that you find to be the most effective thing that you do, or most effective simple thing that you do? And it doesn't have to be with your team. If it's something you do individually, I'd love to hear about it.
You know, another source of insecurity is I wouldn't say that I have a system per se.
I
I would
don't.
not say that. And if someone's like, "What's your team system?" I'd be like, "Well, I mean, that's the problem. I mean, I I don't
Same.
there's some things that we do. But here's the thing, I'm going to tell you what I do. This is what my team is offered from me, by me. I know where my heart starts to sing. Like I know where I'm like, I want to do this. Like this sounds exciting to me. I want to have an event, or I want to do a posting challenge, or I
Yep.
think I want to have a Y event, or I think I want to do a Wednesday night. So what I do is this is going to sound crazy, but I literally sit down the second week of every month and I say, God, what do you want me to do next month with my team? And it's almost like I'm putting out like the fleece. I'm literally like, I'll know if it's the thing that I'm supposed to be doing or not. Like
Yep.
if I feel, I'm like, that's a good idea. Because here's what I found out. Whatever I do with my team that comes from a place of excitement and passion, it doesn't have to be rocket science. In fact, people remind me regularly how much they appreciate how simple I am. I'm like, thanks for that. We just love how simple you are. I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for that. I just feel like all of us are looking all around and we're like, oh, okay, I got to get a better Instagram name and I got to make my pictures better. Oh, good Lord Almighty, I got to get some more information about the products and I got to figure out how to use my Engage app. And we're just like, we're trying to do it all. And really, we'll be like this good at all the things. And I just decided I don't really care. I don't need to I don't have to have the perfect send, share, invite. I think that if I'm leading with excitement and I'm walking in my giftings, then people feel encouraged to do the same. And I'm telling you now, if you're walking in your giftings, people are attracted to you.
True.
They feel like I want to be with that person versus someone that's got it all right and they've got the checklist. It's like it sucks the inspiration right out of it for me. So what's something simple I do with my team though that I think always works is we've been doing power hours. And I give them really simple tasks to do, things that anybody could do. And a lot of these people are terrified of going live. And that's a big goal of mine, is forcing them to go live. I finally got a girlfriend of mine to go live in her stories. And she was shaking. Her chest was red and splotchy, but she did it. And that was such a huge victory. So that's another thing I like to do, is just push people to do those small victories and be there to celebrate with them.
Okay, I love that. Well, I think I'm going to round out your portion of the call by asking you if there's anything else. You may have already shared all your good, juicy tidbits tonight, but if there's anything else, I don't want to leave. I don't want to say, shoe fly. Thank you for your help. If you have anything else that has crossed your mind in regards to, oh, I know. Wait. Um, I know that I don't know if you're on focus groups or not anymore. I don't know what you're what. But all I want to do is I want to know if you have any good vibes or feelings. You don't have to tell us any juicy tidbits, but if you have any good vibes or feelings of anything that's coming around the pike or anything like that. I know we're not getting to see each other at convention and all that good stuff this time. So is there anything that you're excited about that you can't tell us about? Or are you even on any groups right now?
I'm on advisory board. I'm on the
Okay.
diversity and inclusion focus group,
Yeah.
and I'm on the incentives focus group.
Okay.
Um, so I remember Lori Welch made a post one time and she was like tears in her eyes and she's like, if y'all only knew the products that were coming, and she was like bawling.
Mhm, mhm.
And it made me so excited for the future. And she was just so, her belief was so high. And I think that things that came, it ended up being like the collagen, um, might have been the Joyome, whatever came after that. I was like, yeah, that's really great. Like, I'm excited about that. Like, I'm glad. Yeah, I could see why she was excited, but it really wasn't like, like why were you crying? I
Yeah,
had that feeling.
yeah.
So that what is coming is enough to make you cry. Like, actually enough to make you cry. I I think we will have I think we will be a $1 billion company, truly.
That that is good. I knew you were a board member. I didn't want to like force you to tell us board member secrets, but I did I actually wondered if there was something, because here's the thing for me. I was only with the company for like 2 weeks blind, so to speak, before I had a husband that was a board member, and it was like walking around that I was like, oh my gosh. And it was so weird. It was a very weird experience coming from no corporate experience, either one of us. And then not walking around blind for a while, and then to be back in the dark again, so to speak. It's like, and then people still ask me on the regular, like, and I never would give up the juice back, even back in the day. So,
I
uh,
know, because I tried. I
huh?
tried to give you to get up stuff. I wanted you to tell me stuff, and you were like,
I know. I know, but it's always exciting to just know that someone who does know stuff is excited. So I appreciate that. Now I'm gonna say, if there's any one last tidbit, is
okay.
that, or should have that have been my last tidbit? You make that call.
Well, you asked me that, and I thought about this.
Okay.
When you asked me about the systems, and
Okay.
I started to think, um, so I have 50 jewels, and 15 of them are diamonds. And that is with me saying to you out loud, I don't have a system. And I don't know if that helps you or hurts you. But what I want you to hear is that when you actually walk in your giftings and you love what you do, it teaches people to do the same. And so I choose that any day over a well oiled, polished machine.
Agreed. Me too. I love that as being your closing tidbit. That's um very much speaks to my heart. And you know how you attract your tribe, like you've talked about. um it will also resonate with a lot of my people because I'm the hot mess express girl who manages to get things done at the last minute lots of times, and meets deadlines on the deadline, and has a messy house and all the things. And um this business should have rightfully, probably, possibly been an uphill battle for me, but it wasn't because of the same thing you're just talking about. There have been times, in fact, the hardest times that I have ever embraced, so to speak, were when I was trying to be somebody else, not any specific person, but like another version of me, or try to do things that were not within my wheelhouse. I like doing, like you're talking about, I like doing things that are outside my comfort zone, like going live or something like that. But I'm talking about things that really don't match me at all. Those were the times that I would have the most struggle, inner struggle, like go to sleep, can't go to sleep kind of struggles, where I was worrying about the future. Actually, worrying about the future is what would cause me to do those things lots of times. Try somebody else's method. You do this, do that. And I just think that's why I asked you if you had anything specific, because I know there's going to be somebody that connects with any jewel that I would have had on the call tonight. Somebody would have probably been able to connect with what they had to say. But I love the fact that that you're like, I don't have a system, because we don't either. We don't. My team knows that we do one online event a month. That's set in stone. We're now doing 2 team calls a month. We were doing 4, and I'm finding that that's being fruitful to do 2, because we're getting more people, getting people engaged again, basically. So, I also want to just end your portion by saying that we never let anybody go without just saying, I just heap blessings and anointing over your leadership and your team. And I know my whole team will just Care Bear stare that real strong to you, because we appreciate you taking time out. We love the One Plexus spirit, and everybody's willingness to hop on other people's calls and encourage other people's teams. That's a very unique thing about Plexus. I've you don't see it in corporate America, and network marketing, you really don't see it because it's all usually very competitive, and our culture is my favorite. So thank you very, very much for your time. I know nighttime, baby mamas, and all that kind of stuff. It's not, I know that's a tricky time of day, but we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for jumping on here with us, Jennifer.
And hey, we're doing a gut health product training April 5th. We do it the first Monday of every month. So if your team wants to come, I'll send you an invite.
Oh, they do. We will. Yes, please do.
We're there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye. Okay, don't run away. I'm gonna announce all the goodies. I'm really thankful to see shining faces tonight. I appreciate you guys engaging with her and being willing to hop on here tonight. I'm gonna very much respect your time because I used her. I literally did use her to get you guys to get on here because I am so excited about what I'm about to tell you about. And when she said, we did not talk at all about, not one thing about what she was going to talk about tonight. So when she talked about her non-system systems and literally the details that she went into, when she said about halfway through the month, she asked God, I literally, and I'm going to have to tell her this, I didn't want her to keep her any longer, but I'll tell her some other day. I literally do that. Jetty could tell you, I always have this, usually it's a moment about halfway through the month that I start thinking, what's pertinent right now? And I start asking God, what do we need to do? And that is what happened to me just whatever day I announced that I had something brewing. And I'm going to keep it as concise as I can. There are lots of working parts, but they're not parts you have to remember. You don't have to even take notes on the majority of this. It's just to help you understand where I'm coming from and why I'm doing this. So I had the realization, however many days ago that it was that I announced this, that every single person that I have sponsored, I've gone back now for almost 2 years looking at the names. Only 2 people that I can find that I've sponsored in the last 2 years are excluded from what I'm about to tell you. The rest of them are included in what I'm about to tell you. And you may be shocked when I first say this, but I promise to explain it. They all came to me, as in they came to me in Messenger and said, not on the day of an event. The majority of them were not on the day of an event. The majority of them were not even on the week of an event. It would just be some random day. Perhaps the day they're walking through the dessert line and somebody says something awful to them and whatever they decided, I want to start my journey, whatever. Okay. I believe based on the timing not having any kind of pattern in it, that it probably is each individual person acting out their own life. It had nothing to do with what I did on that day that they came to me. But what they all have in common is that they had all been put in the Beauty Inside and Out group, every single one of them. Now that group, so it sort of might sound false for me to say that they came to me, because at some point I had said something to them, and I'm going to read to you what I say to them. This is almost without fail. What I say to them is, hey, Jetty, will you send, oh, wait, no, never mind. It was an old notification there. I was going to have you send somebody the link, but it populated. So it's not current. Okay. I screen captured this. My favorite way to add people, this is in the butterfly page, this is in the alumni group. My favorite way to add new people, is to find a testimony that I feel will resonate with them. It doesn't have to be a current testimony. It can be an old testimony. It can be somebody comes through and they're showing their kids' legs that have eczema. And I go, oh, whoa. I don't message them and say, hey, have you tried Plexus? Hey, did you hear about Plexus and what Plexus will do? No, I don't do that. I find a testimony in the Beauty Inside and Out group, and I send them a message that says, almost exactly this every time without fail, but you can word it however you want to. Hey, I just read something I think would be interesting to you. Link. Put the link next to it. Let me know once you click it so I can tag you. I don't even tell them what it's about. And the majority of people click the link and they thereby add themselves to the Beauty Inside Out and Out group. And about half the time they say, okay, I did it. Sometimes they don't, but I'll see the notification and I tag them. I use the search bar. Sometimes it's an old testimony. I use the search bar at the top of the beauty group and type in eczema. Sometimes I'll tag them in 4 or 5 things. Now, if it's not someone who has recently posted something and I want to, if I know something about them, it doesn't have to be right after they've posted something. If they are going through something, if they're talking about their finances, or if it's just somebody that I know something about, someone I went to high school with, whatever, and I think that gut health would be in some way helpful to them, or if I think that the financial end of what we do would be helpful to them, it never fails. I always message them and say, I saw something I thought would interest you, and send them the link. Let me know once you click this so that I can tag you. That little thing right there, I've said it on probably 8 or 10 calls, but I don't think I've ever heavily or stressed it heavily enough of the simplicity, because what I see happening is people adding people to the Beauty Inside and Out group the night before or 5 minutes before an event. And so therefore, that tells me that you're probably not doing what I'm suggesting. And I'm not saying that you have to do what I suggest. I'm just telling you what I now know has worked, because those people that have joined me have been dripped upon. They have been notified. Also, if it's someone I think I can get away with it, I will also say to them, make sure in that group to set your to change your notifications to see all, because we don't heavily, we don't, have you ever been in a group that there's like 1,000 people in there and everyone can post? I'm not saying that our group is set up to where not everyone can post, but it just doesn't happen that way. Nobody is getting 15 notifications in an hour from that group. They're getting maybe 1 or 2 a day some days. Okay. So you don't have to feel bad that they're going to get notified. But the notification process, I believe, also is very important to the fact that it's like a little tickler in the back of their mind. Okay. When I said that word, it made me think. My uncle, he used to have a florist that kept on file his wife's birthday, their anniversary, everything. And she called that the tickler system. She would message him, hey, saw you have a birthday coming up. What are you going to send her this time? And he started telling jewelers and everybody, you ought to do this. You ought to do this. Well, this drip system is the same thing. It's just putting it back in the forefront of their mind in this busy culture that we live in, where literally, I mean, have you ever looked at your phone and then if you stop and think about what you're doing, you know that you're acting like a crackhead, because you're like, flip, clack, crick, tick, tick, screen, move. Oh, type, enter. Oh, I forgot. I didn't place that order. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, notification. You could be right in the middle of doing something that's important, and you see a Facebook notification, you can't even see who it's from, and you click it like a crackhead. I'm not joking. Simon Sinek, Sinek, does a whole video, probably a video series. I can't remember if it's a series or not, but talking about a dopamine release. I think it's dopamine that you can get it from putting a check mark on a list, or making a red number go away that shows you how many notifications you have. You see that notification come up and you go, oh, I got to touch that. It's like a chicken at a carnival playing a piano because it lights up, like, and that's how much they have trained us to look at our notifications. Well, So what about all of us? But just think of that with your prospects and know this. If you're not in front of them, if our drip group is not in front of them, the likelihood that they're going to come to you is slim, very slim. Okay? So, that being said, that is what we're going to actually work on. Anybody who wants to be part of the accountability group, I've streamlined it to the best of my ability to make the accountability portion very simple. I am actively daily adding to the prize load. I keep thinking of fun things that I want to add to it. I did some teasers in our butterfly group last night and today, showing fun prizes that are going to be for the grand prize winner. But I want to tell you something. I want to tell you what your chances are. I hope your chances are less than what I'm going to say, because I hope a lot of people participate in what I'm about to tell you. But since this is what we have to do to be part of it's a whole different group. It's an April. It's called April Accountability Brings May Momentum or something. I don't think it's brings. Anyway, April Accountability. If you type that in, you'll find it. Here's the daily to-do list. Wake up Facebook is number one. And for those of you who don't know what I mean by that, I'll make it really simple. If you're not a consistent Facebook person, or if you're just a creeper and you don't actually interact with people very much, then your Facebook is asleep. So it rewards you algorithm wise if you participate in conversations with people, if you participate in groups, if you chat with people in your little like if you have a group for homeschooling moms or certain kind of hobbies, and if you participate, it assumes that the people in that group are your friends. And if you are friends with them on Facebook, it's going to show you the things that you post to those people. If you don't participate in those groups, it's not going to show it to the people that are in that group that you're friends with. So, for example, if you have a high school classmates group and you never talk in that group, it's less likely to show it to them. It's more likely to show it to them if you do participate in that group sometimes. So waking up Facebook can look like, here for me specifically, if I have 8 or 10 people that I have added to the Beauty Inside and Out group recently, I keep those people, every time I add someone, I add them to the list that's in the notes in my phone. That is super important. I keep that list handy. And if I have new ones, well, I wake up Facebook by going specifically to their profiles and commenting on something they've posted recently, like a picture of their kids. And I'm not talking about commenting about Plexus. I'm talking about just whatever, because I want Facebook to show my content to them. They're more likely to come to me if they have been dripped on in the group and they're seeing my content. That's the way you wake Facebook up. Anytime you're commenting on, it's waking face. Anytime you're commenting or interacting with people in groups or outside groups, it's waking Facebook up, waking the algorithm up to show your posts to more people. If you're using the word plexus in your post all the time, it's showing your posts to less people. You can say stuff like my company or these products or when I started this probiotic or whatever. The more you brand name it, I'm not saying not to do it ever, but I'm saying if you're saying plexus, 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 Facebook reads that as you're spamming people. So that's another little tip. Here's number 2. You wake up Facebook is number 1. Number 2 is you message 5 new people daily and start fresh conversations. If you're not good at this, practice. Look at things that people have said, and you maybe even practice on it, say with people that you can get away with it with and not even go there as far as plexus stuff goes. But I'm saying, like, for example, if I were going to do this and I could start a conversation with my mother-in-law, okay, and I could do that to practice and start feeling more confident in just starting a conversation through Messenger with someone that I don't talk to frequently. She doesn't live around here, so she's someone I don't see very often. So if I were to start basically practicing just keeping a conversation going, keep a conversation going. If you're constantly on Messenger like I am, I'm used to keeping conversations going. It's no big deal. Messaging 5 new people a day At the end of the month, you will have messaged 150 people. It can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about Plexus. Just get your Waken Messenger up. You're telling Facebook who you're friends with. Ask them about where they got that throw blanket on their couch. Ask them whatever. It doesn't matter. Get a conversation going. That, by the way, if this feels to you, you're like, this is not very like authentic. I'm not sure if it feels that way to you. It did initially to me when I first started teaching it. It felt inauthentic, but it was something that actually is very authentic to me because I'm nosy. I don't mind interrogating people and asking all kinds of questions. I'll be like, "How did you get rid of that? What did you sell that boat, girl? Did you get a good buyer on it? What was the price?" And I get that from my mom. She's an interrogator. So become a little more like my mom. Be an interrogator. Okay. So wake up Facebook, message 5 new people, follow up with 5. Make 2 posts on your profile a day. They don't have to be about Plexus. Sometimes they can be, but they don't have to be. Engaging ones are great, and slide some testimonies in there too. And then check in on the daily accountability post every day in the accountability group, and just come in and check in and say, done, got it all done, whatever. And then the other thing is that you have to be commission qualified yourself to be in the grand prize drawing. The next part is it starts immediately. I'm talking now, you see how I'm whittling people down. Your chances of winning are getting better and better, right? And this is going to be a big grand prize. The reason I'm whittling it down is because I want to see who wants it. That's who gets the business side of my attention. Is I can see, and I'm just putting it out there to be honest with you. When I see people working their business, I say, oh gosh, I want to support. I want to be up underneath, holding their arms up, helping them in whatever way that they need help. Okay. So this next part starts immediately. You don't have to wait till April to start, because I want you to be able to utilize the $1 while the enrollment fee is $1. In order to be part of, at the end of April, when we do a grand prize giveaway, you need to have enrolled 1 new level 1 with a welcome pack. This should come authentically. This should happen authentically, unless you try to get it within this $1 thing and you haven't been already doing the things. If you try to get it within the $1, you have a week to do that. Let's see, 30 days. How's September? What are we? March. Yeah, 30. Huh? What is it? 30th? No, 28. 20. Help me. Yeah. Anyway, y'all know it.
March has 31.
Oh, okay. That's what I was like.
31.
Y'all are doing it, and I'm seeing 7s. And I'm like, I know it's not 37. So, okay. Okay. So Jen and I need to be on the same team. We don't have a system. Okay. But this is our system for right now. So to be in the drawing for the grand prize at the end, which is going to be a basket load of all kinds of my favorite kinds of things. We've even got a pocket knife in there. We're going to add some more dude stuff to it too. Okay. We got an awesome pocket knife. We have all kinds of fun. You've seen the earrings, the Golden Girl. I mean, I've got a whole set of Golden Girl stuff that I'm giving away. I'm trying to make this as fun as possible for everybody. Let's see. So you have from now, starting now, until the end of April to sponsor 1 new with a welcome pack. Make sure I'm not leaving anything about this out. Then in that same post, I talk about how to add new people to the beauty group. That's what I've already talked about with you, about messaging them the link and telling them you found something interesting. This last thing about this particular aspect of it, a group similar to this that I did in the past helped some of our teammates create momentum that led to jewel status. So get excited, crew. That's why I decided to name it what I did, where it's April accountability leads to May momentum, because if you've never been in that place where you sponsor one who starts their journey too, it's exciting. Like, for example, you may have sponsored 3 or 4, or you may have never sponsored anybody, or wherever you fall in the lineup, it's fine. But when you sponsor someone and you're in momentum, like you are consistent, they see that. It's like they feel it. It's like they come out of the woodworks because they feel your momentum vibe. And that momentum can carry you for months and months and months, especially if you decide to implement some of these ideas yourself with some of your new teammates. All right. The last thing is in this 25 or from now until the end of April, besides sponsoring a new level 1, I want you to add a total of 25 or more people to the Beauty Inside and Out group. To be honest with you, that's the main objective, because here's the thing that I know. That group works. It absolutely works if you're adding people and if you are tagging people when we do events, or when you see an interesting post, or, hey, did you see this? I mean, if lots of times I'll take the post and screen capture it and send it to the person that's in the group and say, hey, did you see this? Depending on if I think it would be private. Like, for example, if it was about a yeast infection, I'm not going to say, hey girl, did you see this in the post? But sometimes I'll screen capture it and say, hey, I wanted to make sure you didn't miss this, because this could be very helpful for what you have going on, or what your son has going on, or whatever. You never know what people might, think is private. I do that all the time. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I am going to come up with a write-up that is about this. I'm going to tweak the one that I put in the team page and make it a little bit more where it's presentable for any of you who would like to send it to your level 1s or level 1s and level 2s, so that you can invite them to take part in the accountability group if they would like. That way, you might have an accountability partner that's on your team to do this with you. Let's see. By the way, all the rules, everything we've talked about, if you're taking notes furiously or whatever, all the guidelines or the structure of the contest or whatever, it will be inside the actual group. It's already over there. Tells you what you should do every day. I think I need to make a graphic that says WUFB, wake up Facebook. Like, that's number 1. And then I'm going to go down through them really quick, because I stopped to actually explain each one. I'm going to give them to you really quick so you can hear how simple it is. Wake up Facebook, message 5 new people and start a fresh conversation. Follow up with 5, make 2 posts on your wall. Most of you do that already. Engaging ones are great. Then check in and say that you did it. That's your daily. Monthly is to sponsor 1 new person with a welcome pack, and you can do it right now. And the other part is to add 25 new people to the Beauty Inside and Out group. I want to see that group grow, because I know what the group has done for my business in the last 2 years. Last but not least, I have a post scheduled in the Beauty Inside and Out group. And I wasn't going to talk about this tonight, but I decided when Jennifer was talking, I decided for whatever reason that I did want to go ahead and roll this out right now. The simplicity of how I started my business was I got everybody hooked on ProBio 5, and then they were curious about the rest. And when I was talking about that with Jen earlier, I didn't say those words, but the simplicity of how I did it in the beginning feels counterintuitive to the way our business model is set up, because it creates a lot of customers instead of ambassadors. But what has happened is, over time, they became my team. Okay. So tomorrow morning, a post is going to go live in the Beauty Inside and Out group. And I want you to be armed with how you're going to answer if someone tags you in this post. Okay. I'm going to read it to you. And I'll explain the method to this madness too. It is a post that has a picture of active and a picture of ProBio 5. And it says, I'd like to do a little challenge for anyone in this group who has still not taken their first step. I know you're probably curious, but you haven't taken that first little step. So do you want to try something, but you're a commitment phobe? That's okay. We want to offer you the chance to try just one product. Swap your daily coffee or soft drink for whichever of these sounds like the best fit. If you want info on either of these very inexpensive products, tag the person who invited you to this group, and let's get you fence sitters trying one thing. And dude, there's a money back guarantee. Now, I have debated and debated as to whether this was a way to go about this or not, because, you know, all the contests are one new person with a welcome pack, you know. So what the design of this is to, first of all, the minute your name gets tagged, you're going to go, oh, I didn't even know they were seeing the posts in there, right? They're in the group. I didn't even know they were seeing the posts. I didn't know that they were following along. I didn't know. And now they have come to you. Now, in the morning, I'm going to hand them to you because this little post is going to hand some people to some people. What you do with them when they're in your hand is up to you. I can tell you what I would do. I would say, oh, awesome. Which one did you want to try? Or did you, or depending on what they say, tell them about one or the other. Because ProBio 5 and Active, those two, to me, those are two products that people notice something immediately. Whether it's, you never know what it's going to be, but immediately. Those are two, in my opinion, those are my two favorite products, honestly, because of that. And so if they start asking you questions about those products, and you're debating back and forth which one you'd want to try, well, one of them helps cancel out sugar cravings. That's ProBio 5. Active, on the other hand, helps you with a boost of the energy that's not jittery. It's real calm, extended, time release type energy. People really like that. Well, now, what did that cause? If you don't know anything about it right now, you go, I don't know which one. Right? Okay, the first thing is you don't know which one. That's a tricky situation to be in. You know, right now, for $1, and did you know I don't think they even have to get a welcome pack? I'm telling you, y'all, this. I'm not telling you to tell them this, but I'm saying for $1, they can get their own account. And I'm going to use some language that I use with people because I feel that this is non-threatening language. You can get your own account where you can purchase at wholesale, whatever you want to purchase, whenever you want to purchase. There's no quota. Nobody's going to make you do anything you don't want to do. You can get that for $1 right now until the end of the month. I wouldn't suggest waiting till the end of the month because the system always seems to get overloaded at the end of the month with people who want to take advantage of this opportunity. But interestingly enough, it'll also give you a referral link. I'm using language here. It'll give you a referral link, kind of like Groupon or those little makeup monthly subscriptions or whatever. So if your friends or family decide they want to try something that you've tried, it's going to actually credit back to your account. You don't ever have to touch the product or anything like that. Does that sound like something you might be interested in? Maybe. Okay. Well, because if you are interested in, I'm going to send you some information about welcome packs because those are deeply discounted. Very deeply discounted. So far, does anybody feel threatened with this language? No, because you can always go back to one-time purchase one active, retail price, right? All you're doing is taking a little nudge, a little step, a little nudge, a little step, and they're going to swap their coffee or their soft drink. Like, especially if they're going to try active, super easy to get that. To me, that's the biggest no-brainer in the world, is to let them try some clean energy versus what they're used to, for especially if they're a Starbucks bucks going through the line. They're already spending way too much. Coffee is not worth $5, y'all. I am sorry. It will never be worth $5. I don't care what you put in it. And actually, if you put enough ingredients in it to make it worth $5, it is not good for you. Coffee is worth cents, a few cents. That's how much is in a pot of coffee. So people who are paying that $5 and you're just saying, let's just do a little challenge. Let's see. And here's the thing. If you get in a situation where you're like, oh, shoot, I got some people tagging me in this thing, I don't know what to say to them. Reach out to someone, reach out to an upline, reach out to somebody and say, okay, this is what they said. What do I say back? Just keep in mind that keep their best interest in mind. I believe that I know people get all tweaked out about the word karma, so I don't really know a good word that won't tweak people out, but I believe in the concept that whatever you're putting out with intention comes back around to you with intention. So if you're putting out, oh God, I got to grow a team, I bet this one's a sucker, they're going to join my team, then, that's the same kind of stuff that happens to you on the back end. If you're putting out the intention of helping the person the very best, for example, like is as if it were your mom, trying to get them the best deal on an Old Navy clearance sale. Okay. If you are working with them in a way that they can feel that, okay, here's what might work best for you. I want to stay within your budget, what you're comfortable with. We have a $1 deal till the end of the month. Because here's the thing, they're coming to you. Remember that part, right? You didn't message them and say, girl, let me tell you about this thing. They tagged you. And in fact, I may post that post several times between now and, or something like it, several times between now and the end of the month, a variation of it, until we have a lot of action on the swap a coffee, swap a soft drink. In fact, I'll probably start posting pictures of coffee, soft drinks. Who wants to, because the people that, I'm going to be honest with you, many of the people that I sponsored or are level 2s to me that get on these calls, that interact in my stuff, are people who started out on only ProBio 5, if you can believe that. Now, if I were doing it now, I would do it exactly the way I'm telling you. I would offer them the dollar option. I would offer them the dollar option, get your own account. When I heard somebody finally say it that way, where they said, instead of, they were trying to explain to someone the difference between preferred customer. Obviously we know the difference between retail, right? But the difference between a preferred customer, when I heard somebody finally that said, well, if you get your own account, you have complete control of it. You can order when you want. You can not order when you don't want. It's not going to send you anything that you don't want. Being a preferred customer, it's automated. And not to say that they couldn't call in, but jacking with their own account is not as intuitive for the preferred customer as it is for a wholesale ambassador. And then the referral link gives you a referral link. So if your mom or sister or somebody wants to try it, it's going to give you a kickback on that, so that you can get, you can get credits, you get credits, and you also get commission. And if a few people are trying it, you'd be making enough money that your products would be paid for. Does that sound like a trap you might fall into if I were baiting it for you that way? I'm not trying to create a trap, but I'm trying to give you some words so that you kind of have an idea of the simplicity of what I think that we should be doing right now. Now, if they sign up for $1 and they just get active, or if they sign up for $1 and they just get ProBio, and you're like, man, I was hoping to get a welcome pack out of this deal. How many days do they have? 30 days? Is that right still? Okay. So if they do it and you're like, shoot, well, you don't even have to tell them about the welcome pack right away if you don't want to. If it's not someone that's within your wheelhouse to do that, you can just say, yeah, you can get your own account for $1. and for a year you can purchase it wholesale. I can't believe they're doing this. That's truthful. It's bizarre to me to think that they're doing this. And then let them do it. Let them do the whole thing. Let them order what they want. And if they don't get a welcome pack, if you've told them about the welcome pack and they don't get it, or if you didn't tell them about the welcome pack, they're liable to see it as they're attempting to join, right? They are liable to come back and tell you to enrolling. I like the word enrolling better for some reason. It seems to be more, but as they're enrolling, they're liable to see it and come back. Okay. Hold up. I'm seeing my chat. Okay. I'm way behind. You're talking about perks, Karen? Make sure that's what you're talking about. I want to make sure. Sometimes when I'm on one of these Zooms, if I'm leading it and I try to read somebody's stuff, sometimes things don't make as much sense to me because I'm trying to juggle too many things at once. So I want to make sure that that's what you're talking about.
No, Lori, I'm talking about them earning their being commission qualified.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I actually had a level 2 and a level 3 sign up, and their people did not have PV or a subscription. So I got both of them's $25 business building bonus. And I warned them that they needed to do so, and they didn't do it.
Sorry, hold up. Give me 1 second, you guys. Okay, that makes sense. Nope.
Say that again, Karen.
Yeah, Karen, say that again.
Okay, if they're going to sign people up or even have people order under them, they need to make sure that they have at least 100 PV subscription in place, and they need to have 100 PV go through their account so they are commission qualified.
Okay.
I just had some people sign up but they didn't have their 100 PV or a subscription, and I got their business building bonuses.
So, okay. So Babette, for example, was that you that said had her to repeat it? Was that you? Okay. I was getting the dog. For example, if you sponsored 2 or 3 people right now, and they got a welcome pack and there was a business building bonus and you weren't qualified, I would get, because you're my level 1, I would get your business building bonuses. That's what she's letting everybody know. You need to, if you're going to do this, you need to also be commission qualified yourself, because that is how it works. It rolls up. The business building bonuses roll up. If you're not qualified during the week, are they still doing it like that? If you're not qualified during the week do you know if that's right, Karen?
I think it is during that week. So like if you sign somebody up today, you need to have your 100 PV before the end. I think, is it by Friday?
Yeah.
Is that when they do it?
I think so. Is it, does anybody know if it's different than that? If you have your subscription set, does that work? I don't remember.
I am not sure.
Okay. I'm not sure either. It's
I
good.
don't know, because
I'm going to tell you.
mine,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have mine set for the 2nd, so I don't know.
Well, I will say this. If you ever plan on being a leader in this company, having your subscription set earlier in the month versus later in the month means everything to your sponsor. And the reason it does is because if I have someone in leadership and they have a big team and they go all month long not qualified, it shows all of their points are false points. And I'm not saying that I won't get any of those points, but I'm saying they don't show up as a level 1 to me. So their level 2s look like level 1s to me. And then their level 7s show up as my level 7s. And once they qualify, that will all bump down. And it is a mess when there is a leader in the company who qualifies late because at the end of, you don't know where you stand the whole month is very frustrating. It's frustrating enough that I've thrown something against the wall at the end of the month because I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. And so might as well start it now. Yeah, a compression roller coaster, Jetty called it. And it is a nightmare. So as a leader, if you normally order on the 28th, you're just a couple days from the first. Make it on the first. And that way you're commission qualified and you don't miss any business building bonuses throughout the month either when people are actually enrolling, when people underneath you, those people are enrolling and so on and so forth. Okay, hang on one second. Okay. It's my understanding that you don't get the business building bonuses if you are not qualified, if people are enrolling. One way to like, as your business, I understand being in the position, like Jennifer was talking about being on food stamps. I have been in a similar boat of where it's like very structured and budgeted. I will say that once your business gets rolling, that is one of the main things that I say that you should concentrate on is making sure that your account gets handled early in the month. If you have 2 or 3 customers, your account, if you have 2 or 3 customers, or if you have 2 or 3 ambassadors that are working it at all, that should be covering your products every month. And so maybe that'll help some of you who are kind of worrying about that. Don't worry about it right now. Okay. Jetty's saying if you were qualified the month before. I knew there was something. If you were qualified the month before, you get the business building bonuses throughout this month. So it's if you weren't qualified. If you were not qualified the month before, you will not until you are qualified, but not until then. So that helped. So that post is going to drop at 8:30 in the morning about the ProBio 5 or active. And I will probably push that and push that and push that because what I'm doing is I am sniffing out my fence sitters. I want to know who's out there who's like, I'm not going to drop a $100 on something I have never tried before, but I could swap out a coffee because those people, once they get started, you know what happens. Everybody knows what happens. Once they get started, they feel the difference and then they prioritize it. Everything right now, this is just life. Everything is a battle for your dollar. Everything is. And if it's not bringing value to your life, that's when you cut it out, right? Like, do you ever go through your credit card statement and see what's going out monthly, the subscription type things and you finally go, I don't use that, get rid of it. I don't use that, get rid of it. Even the like little, like maybe you have cable packages that have a $5 this and an $8 that or whatever. And you're like, I don't use that. I don't need it. Get rid of it. Everything's battling for the priority of your budget. Everything on Facebook is battling for the priority of your budget. That's why the other day I said something, I'm trying to think what it was. I said something so bizarre. Oh, get this. I'm fixing to spoil a surprise for my daughter if she's still listening, but I won't say what. But let me just say this. I have a corgi named Daisy. Today, Marketplace showed me something with a corgi on it and a daisy. Okay. Because I talked about it. I've talked about this at something like, I'm like, are you kidding me? This is how specific, if you have your microphone turned on so that you can talk on Messenger and stuff, it's listening to what you're saying. And that's how, if you ever look at Marketplace and you're like, or Marketplace or sponsored ads and you're like, wow, well, that's by design. And so
Hey, well, while we're waiting, I have a question.
Okay.
Before you explain that.
Okay.
When you say you're gonna offer them a free active or probiotic or ProBio 5, were you talking about a sample of active? And
I'm not doing anything for free. I don't know what I said, but
I thought you said that's going to drop tomorrow and you're offering them free
Oh.
active or ProBio 5.
I'm sorry. No, what's going to drop tomorrow is that post that talks
Right.
about them swapping out a coffee a day for either active or trying ProBio 5 or a soft drink, whatever it is. I'm trying to get in the pockets of those and in the mindset of those
Oh,
who are
okay.
very budget minded, who are not ready. I was one of those people, big time. I wasn't
Same.
willing to try anything that I couldn't swap something else out for. I didn't have the room for it. And so if somebody had presented it to me in a way that says, do you go to Sonic every day? And I'd have said, well, yeah, I do that. If they'd have said, how much you spend? If I'd have said, lots of times $250, honestly. And that was only if it was just me. if I had to share with those kids of mine, then it was even more than that, right? Well, that whole concept works on me. The idea of swapping works with so many people. Okay, hang on. I see another question in the chat here. Yeah, you can have them buy a pack of active if they want to do it at retail price. That's the whole thing, is once they have tagged you, the ball is in your court how you handle it at that point. You say, hey, I saw where you mentioned, or I saw where you tagged me in that post. If they haven't told you which one, you could say, which one of them did you want to try? Well, they're not going to know. And that opens it up to a whole new realm. You tell them about each one. That's why I picked 2 instead of 1, because one of them cuts out sugar cravings and helps your immune system, and lots of times gets rid of allergies and helps people sleep better and all the things, right? Okay, those all sound great. The other one gives you sustained, non-jittery energy throughout the day. Everybody wants both of those things. And so how do you choose? Well, that's how it opens it up to, they can get their own account, and then they can choose to try one for 2 weeks, and then they can add another. If they get active and they want to get a ProBio later, they can. Or, girl, right now there's a crazy discount. You can get the $1, get your own account, and then you could do a welcome pack, which is really deeply discounted. And you can, I think that is the SAM 2020 code still working for the 10% off. Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes, it is.
you can even get.
I mean, it was last week.
Okay, so the welcome packs are already lots of times, depending on which welcome pack they pick, 30 to 40% off of retail price, or even more sometimes. So a welcome pack is a really deeply discounted deal, and they can get, whichever way they want to go. If they want to get a 90 or a 109 or a 209 welcome pack, and then on top of that, if they want to add something to it, they can. Or if they just want to get the $1 thing and then literally just get one product, that's a great idea. Let them do what they want to do, but then follow up with them later, and if they show any interest whatsoever, even after they've tried it for a week, hey, I just thought I'd let you know, or I want to see how you're liking that. They're going to love active. Everybody loves active. So if they are loving it, you could say, I just thought I'd let you know that you have until 30 days from the day that you actually enrolled to finish this out and get a welcome pack, and you could get an even more discount on the product than what you got when you ordered the active. They could get active even cheaper in a welcome pack, or they could get, if you wanted to try that ProBio you asked me about, you could get that in a welcome pack. There are all kinds of ways that you can go with this, and I believe if your heart is true and your intentions are true for the best for that person, it's going to look different no matter who you're talking to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I believe that you get blessed because of that. So if that person, if they're like, all I want to do is I want to try the one thing that you said cuts out the sugar cravings, and so let them order the ProBio 5. Make sure they're taking it only one. Make sure that they're drinking plenty of water. There are all kinds of reasons to check back in with them. I want to make sure you're staying hydrated. You add them to the if there's other groups that you want to add them to, if there are other videos that you want them to see, there's so many ways that you could help them by sending them a product video, sending them this, sending them that, and just keep a conversation going with them for the first few days after they get their order. That way they're more open to letting their guard down and asking you more questions and possibly getting their basically getting their welcome pack. And when they do that, they count for so many things, because they count for my contest, they count for all the contests that require welcome packs. I'll just put it that way. All the contests that require a purchase of a welcome pack that are going on right now. The success sprints and all of that other stuff. So, okay, are we, let's see. I didn't even know that, Jan. She said it's off the total. The 10% is off the total, including the $1 membership. And so even if they put anything a la carte in the, is it that way or no? It is. Oh,
Is she talking about the SAM 2020?
mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
I didn't know that. That's good to know. I think if I'd have paid attention, I would have known that, because I've had several people use that. I feel like I'm leaving something out, and I know this is a lot of information.
It's even, I don't think you can use that plus the free shipping, the share love. I don't think you can use both of those.
I think that may be right. Does anybody know different than that? It would depend on what I would do is I would look at, see what their setup is, like what they're interested in doing. And then I would just tell them based on what they plan on doing, which one's going to save them the most money. Because 10% off, 10% off of a 209 welcome pack is going to be $20 something.
Right.
$20.
And share love is like 10 something.
It depends on the price of the shipping of what products they chose. Yes.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. Somebody says, I don't encourage the free shipping because it takes forever. That's true too. I've been doing the SAM 2020 all the way around. People, on the smaller welcome packs, it seems to average out about the same as what if they would have on their free shipping. So hope that made sense. I kind of stumbled all over that sentence, but everybody feeling okay about what we're doing here? I'm gonna do a write-up to send to your level ones to invite them, because the group doesn't officially start until April 1st. If you want to make a list, keep a list of people who you would like to send that to, I will put something out within the day or so. If you want to participate in the accountability group, if you just want the accountability, even if you think you can't, like if you think, oh, it's not going to work every single day, even if you just want to participate in the group and do the best that you can, I put that grand prize in there, and I'm probably going to be adding to it all the time. I'm probably going to give away a weekly prize, like do a drawing, because I want that group to be interactive and fun. And I want the people that participate to feel like you're in on something. And I know that is exactly what worked. It's literally been years since I've done a group like this. I haven't felt like, I started feeling like I wanted to do one again, like around, I was going to do it early in the year last year, and last year, whatever, crumbled pile of mess. And so now I feel like is a great time to do it. I feel, I saw some statistics the other day about how many jewels, how many people in the company rank advanced to jewel in 2020, and it was shocking in a good way, a very shocking number of people that rank advanced to jewel. And our company went through a bumpy ride there with for a while. We had some credit card problems. That's all part of the past. I'm talking about, we had some stuff where people were getting double charged and stuff like that. And I mean, much to the chagrin of everyone at corporate, nobody wanted that happening, and it was not anybody's fault. But we got all of that out of the way, and now finally, all of that stuff seems to be part of our past, and to where now we might have like a one-off where we're having one person have a problem or something, but not any widespread stuff. And the horizon looks pretty good, you guys. So what I want to do is close this out. What I mean by the horizon looks pretty good, other than the obvious, what it obviously means, I anticipate before the end of this year introducing a few new jewels into the jewel page. And I only get to do that if they're on my team. You understand what I'm saying? I anticipate that happening. And I will tell you that it can take off much quicker than you think. You never know. You never know. And I say this lots of times. The person that I sponsored that first made me go, whoa, what's going on here, was a girl who worked at our local Big Lots. Some of you probably, local people would probably even know her. And I was like, whoa, oh my gosh, like holding on for the ride of our lives. Here we go. Like somebody besides me actually putting the effort in. And it's really fun when it gets like that. And so I pray that I'm going to pray that over you guys tonight. I'm just going to anoint the contest, but really the feeling. I'm going to anoint the feeling. I'm going to anoint it. I'm just saying, I'm going to pray an anointing over it really quick. And then that's going to be the closeout here. Hold up. This is something I'm giving away, by the way. A whole tones pod. Since I'm doing my favorite things, if you saw the little silver thing that looks like a little speaker for your phone, it's actually comes to you loaded with these whole tones on it, and it plays in, like you can have it playing. Like I always put it around my plants, or sometimes I have more than one whole tone pod, but I have one upstairs for when we're sleeping. Anytime I do healing stuff on people, I have it. I like to have the whole tones pod with me. I don't always have it with me, but the whole tones music. For those of you who participated in the March Reset, Renew, Refresh group, I did a live in there on a live video in there on Saturday, talking about frequency and the things that, I don't care who you are, you can't deny some of the things, like the fact that our body is made up of water. And if you just watch some videos about what frequency does to water. Thanks for hopping on here, Michelle. I know she's got a busy night ahead of her. What frequency does to water, it's going to be doing to your body, because you're primarily made up of water. And when you think about the fact that so are lots of things. Plants are made of water. The food that you eat a lot is made of like primarily water, especially if you're eating plants, and your animals, everything. And so I'm not saying that water is the only thing that frequency impacts. What I'm saying is that's all it would need to impact, to deeply impact everything around you. And it's science. I don't care what anybody, I don't care if it makes anybody creeped out, because the word seems to creep people out. They're like, ooh, frequency. And I'm like, well, don't use your microwave or a light bulb, because that's what all of that is. It's all energy. It's all frequency. If it creeps you out, let it creep you all the way into being Amish, because without frequency, that's where we are. And even they use it. I'm just saying, my words, the voice, my vocal cord is frequency. My vocal cords, like when I put my hands there, I feel frequency. So anyway, whole tones has a really interesting backstory that you should go read. And that's a whole tones pod that's loaded with the 7 main songs is one of the giveaway. Giveaway. It's part of the grand prize giveaway contest in that group. So, okay. So I'm just going to invite the Holy Spirit in to this, what we're doing now, into our efforts, into our loving on people, our relationships, into the accountability of it all, into our hearts as we do this. And as God just transforms our hearts and minds even more, we're always being transformed and renewed. As God does that it would be evident and it would spill out on other people. God, I just call on your anointing tonight over the efforts that we're about to put in, and the love that we're going to share with people, over the products that these people are going to take, and over the leadership style that each of us are transitioning into. God, I thank you that every day your mercies are brand new. And I thank you for this team. They're my friends, and I'm so appreciative that I get to be friends with such great people who have amazing intentions and amazing hearts. I pray that each one of you start to focus more and more and more on gratitude in your life. That was another thing that I talked about in the group. In fact, I will drag those posts for those of you who didn't participate. I will drag those posts over into my team page and in the alumni page if somebody will remind me after this, because I woke up one morning and it was just pouring out of me, and I was like, this must be for that group, because it was about the topic that I had picked to speak on. I pray over this month of the remainder of the month of March, and then the entire month of April. Even though I don't really think that that's the calendar, the way the calendar is really set up to work, I believe that there's a better calendar out there as far as what God sees. But God, I just pray over this season that we're in, and that your truth and the freedom of walking your own truth out in Christ would set a lot of people free. I feel excited when I think about the fact that my job helps people change their lives for the better. I feel excited to offer that opportunity to people. A chance at a better future for their families, a chance at less doctor visits and more time with their kids. Feeling good.
You want to see?
I just pray God's Holy Spirit anointing over all of that. Over our interactions, over our words, over our conversations, and over our relationships. And I lift all this up in the name of Jesus, the one and only. And I thank you guys for getting on here tonight. If there was anything that we didn't cover or that I confused you about, let me see one thing really quick. Karen, message me about that so I can check on that for you. Okay, the last thing that you sent me. I'm going to go ahead and get this. I'm not going to play any video music tonight because that's what caused me to not be able to use the last video that we did. And I'm going to get this video loaded tonight as soon as we hang up so that you guys will have access to it. And I'll get the things to send out to your level ones. And don't forget in the morning, the swap your coffee soft drink challenge will drop. So be watching for your name to be tagged if somebody wants to participate in it. You guys
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. You guys have a great night. If anything was confusing, let me know, because I know it was a lot of content tonight, but I think it will be organic as you start to work within it. I think it will be organic because it should all flow together. All right, guys. Good night. Talk to you guys soon. The group, the post, if you want to be in the group, is on the butterfly page. Also, anybody who is part of my alumni group, if you want to participate in it, I'm opening it up to all of you. Anybody. I want anybody who wants to get in there. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.